Well, welcome to Chinatown and the world underneath Chinatown, and our guide, Dennis Dunn. Now, you can tell us, I guess, how much of the mythology in Big Trouble in Little China is real and how much of it was invented for the film. Is it a mixture or what?
Yeah, it's a mixture. I think they based it on actual mythology and history, but history from different periods and put together, put it in the same time frame. And the mythology is, I think, from even different periods, and they put it together in the film to form their own world.
What about the idea of a 2,000-year-old man who hasn't had a woman in all that time? Now, we've all had our days, but 2,000 years, is this an invented thing?
That I'm not sure. I think might be something like that, some reference to that somewhere in mythology, but I'm not. Don't quote me on that. Yeah.
Now, you've described yourself as thoroughly Americanized, but what are your own contacts with your Chinese heritage?
Well, I'm not. Well, I'm thoroughly an American, but I am pretty connected to being Chinese. In fact, a lot of I do a lot of humor that's kind of like I do an old Chinese man. I'm close to it.
What about films that accurately reflect your traditions? I'm thinking of Wayne Wang's work, especially Dim Sum.
Oh, I worked on Dim Sum as a production assistant.
That must have been a joy then.
Yeah, yeah.
And now, the gentleman who portrays Egg in this film was also in that, was he not?
Right.
What about Wayne Wang? Let's talk Wayne Wang. What's he up to? What's he doing?
Well, he's going to be doing a film with the American Playhouse, a film called Eat a Bowl of Tea about the Chinese Bachelor Society in the post-World War II. So I'm hoping I might be able to get a part in that. It's a great script. I did a reading for him, just for him to hear it, not so much for an audition. And it's a beautiful script. And
well, he's showing us a world that the mainstream moviegoer has not seen before. Do you think it's true that we don't have to go underneath Chinatown so much to find so much that is new and exotic, even in just the day-to-day?
Well, not even exotic. It's just that there's a rich culture there.
Yeah.
But I think most people have never. No one's ever done anything on it, and I think Wayne is opening it up to the world to see. And even as an actor, that's what I want to do. I mean, I've done it in theater in San Francisco, but I hope to be able to do that in a feature film. I hope to work with Wayne. Hopefully on that project. I'd love to be in it.
What about San Francisco? Is there a theater and filmmaking community that's doing that very thing now?
Well, there is an Asian American theater. That is where I got my training and my start. And I did a bulk of my theater work there. I've worked at other theaters in the Bay Area, but I did some of my best work there. So there's the Asian American Theater, and there's Wayne. There's a guy named Steve Okazaki who did Unfinished Business, got nominated for an Academy Award this year for a documentary. There's a lot of young filmmakers there, and there is a community of Asian American artists. It's where my base. I mean, we all have worked together in one way or the other.
With backgrounds, traditions like this, and having seen Big Trouble, some of us might think that you also had martial arts training.
I have a background in it. I mean, I've only dabbled in it.
Right. But you look completely authentic as far as I...
Thank you.
Where does that come from? You must have worked hard.
Yeah, I worked out a lot, and I was always very athletic since I was a child. And so I just worked hard at it. And I did some for a play. I did some martial arts and some Chinese dance. So I just...
Well, those two kind of go together, don't they?
Yeah. I mean, you adjust the movement. So I kind of mixed. Mine's sort of a hybrid of, it's all this stuff, and it's a very my American style. Even the film is it's a hybrid of everything. The film's a real hybrid.
It is.
Yeah.
And when you're working out the fight sequences, were you working those out more with somebody other than John Carpenter, or was he always
there was a choreographer, and we worked together. Well, a lot of it I had basic things I would just practice every day, even if they weren't used in the film, just to get me used to using the sword.
Seems like while we're watching the film that you get better and better as the film goes. You're always surprising us.
Yeah, I think that's how he set it up. Just I mean, that's the character.
Yeah.
You don't know what he's going to do next. He's always changing.
I mean, every restaurateur is handy with the sword.
Yeah, right. Meat cleavers, no.
Are you able to watch this film now with any of the delight that obviously audiences are finding in it now?
I think last night was the first time. The first time I'd seen the finished product.
Could you back away from it and look at it objectively?
Yeah, more. I mean, I still have a hard time looking at myself, but I had a great time. The audience was ecstatic over the film, and that really helped me just loosen up. And I loved it.
So what will happen after this? Is the acting rather than the production end of films going to be more important to you?
Yeah, I've always been an actor. I think I was I worked on Wayne's film, but mainly because I wanted to work with him and see what the film process was like. I'd never worked in film before. And part of it was just fun being a part of working with his team and learning. So it was more so I could learn about acting. I want to do acting. Yeah.
And if I might say so, a nice blend of a very sensitive male with this surprising kind of combat expertise.
Thank you.
I'd like to see maybe more kinds of films that deal with your heritage too in a maybe less fantastic way. Might we see something from you soon?
I'm hoping that'll be the case.
We'll
I'm
watch
going to China to work on a film about the last emperor of China, so that'll be interesting.
Remember the old woman who goes to China and dim sum?
Oh yeah.
She finally goes.
Yeah.
When you go, are you half preparing yourself not to find the more traditional China that maybe you've heard of?
Yeah, I heard it's changed. My grandmother's still there on my mother's side.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so so I get to meet her.
Good luck in your travels.
Yeah, thank you.
Dennis Dunn, Big Trouble in Little China. He's part of that Big Trouble as well. And from New York City for KCTV5, I'm John Tibbetts.